Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be working on what I'm going to call bits and pieces. It's an Epiphone special, like a Les Paul special, bolt-on neck, got like a ply body, and it's bits and pieces. So we're gonna start working on it. The biggest bits and pieces is the neck. It's going to have to probably be fixed because it's kind of into two, three, four pieces. So we're gonna glue this back together. Kind of go through what we're gonna do to get this thing put back together. So let me move the camera around and we'll get started. Okay, first things first is what do I have or what do I not have? I have the pickups, the rings for it. It actually still has the neck plate and the screws on the back, has the cover plate. No electronics, no bridge, no tailpiece, no nut. But outside of that, still has the strap buttons. So outside of that, everything's pretty complete. And the body's actually in pretty good shape. There's a little bitty nick right there. It's dirty, little few scratches, but all in all, the body's pretty great. So that's a good thing. So I'm gonna put it over here out of the way. Well, before I do that, let's see, we've got our piece for our output jack. We do have it, no screws for that. But I'm digging through, we don't have tuners. Digging through my parts, I've come up with some pots, 500K, and I've got these Chibson tuners that I got with the Chibson Les Paul that I have, that I changed out for the original ones. And these tuners weren't bad. They just weren't Gibson. They say Gibson, but they're not. They're really not terrible. So probably going to use these just to have something to use up. Also, the same as well, the tailpiece and the bridge that came. The bridge won't work because it's the small, uses a small pole. I want to say pole pieces or whatever. So I've also got several Epiphone style bridges that should work. Yeah. And then this tailpiece that works. So that's that. That'll be great for that. We're not going high end on this thing. We're taking something that was destined for the trash can, and we're gonna make it play again. So we've got everything we need. Electronics. I'm sure I've got a 3-way switch somewhere. I'm pretty sure that I can use on this thing as well. So we'll scrape around and come up with everything we need for that. Something that's pretty common with Epiphones, if you look on eBay, in the broken guitar category, you'll find a lot of Epiphones that the headstock's broke. Most of the time, it is not from the neck itself isn't broke. What has happened is this scarf joint has come apart. And they're so bad for that. And this one, and I don't know if the camera will show it good enough or not, I hadn't cleaned this any. I hadn't sanded on this. I hadn't done anything to this, to neither piece. The glue's pretty well non-existent on this. I mean, there just wasn't any glue. And then when it got bumped or whatever, the string tension, it just come apart. So we're not really dealing with a break. as much as just a failure of this scarf joint, which makes it an easy fix. But these are really, it's really common to see this in the older Epiphones, you know, maybe even some of the newer ones where these scarf joints failed. So, you know, they probably had some guy that said, you know, his name was Use No Glue or something, but they didn't put enough glue, and that's the biggest thing. So I'm gonna clean this up just a little bit and get ready, and we're gonna go ahead and glue this scarf joint on. Okay, we're gonna be ready to go ahead and glue this up. I'm gonna be using Type Bond 3 wood glue. Got the surface all clean. Get it ready to go on. Got our truss rod out of the way. If you don't have a brush handy, you just use your finger. Okay. This almost just sticks together. Like I said, this is a clean, I don't really want to say break. This is kind of a clean come apart. Try to get some of this excess glue off of here before I ever clamp it. I fooled around and made it really slick. Okay. Now, clamp in here. This isn't the clamp of preference, but it was the closest one I could find. I'm gonna try, if I've got enough hands here, I can probably try that later if I need to. Put some wax paper in there to keep the from gluing the clamp to the length of the neck. Let me get this all started. I'll just do it this way. Would be better. I can get it all started, lined up. I could have drilled some dowel holes and put some small dowels in to hold this in place while I was gluing it, but I think it's going to work just fine, just like this. Just getting everything where it needs to go. I'm going to try to get another clamp on this back side. I don't know what that, just to hold that very end, and I don't know if this little clamp's gonna have enough to do it. I think so. Okay, let me give this a good look. Make sure we're where we need to be. Yep, that's not gonna work. Let me find another clamp and we'll go. This clamp, I had a bad idea about that. Okay, there's our neck glued up. And I didn't get that all filmed, which was great, because there was language used that nobody needed to hear. But that's got it finally glued in place. So we're going to let that dry for a day or so. and then we'll come back and install the truss rod back in, and then we'll re-glue the fretboard, which was luckily, whatever I'm trying to say, that the fretboard hasn't warped. A lot of times if they're taking off the neck and left laying around, they'll twist, warp, whatever. So, I checked this one with a straight edge and it's still straight, but the frets are they're not really worn, but they're rusty and nasty, and the fretboard looks really bad. Even some of the side dots are kind of sticking out for some reason, so that's got to be addressed. So, yeah, this is definitely a project. We're saving this thing from the dumpster, possibly. The problem with this is it would just be like so easy just to bolt another neck on it. The problem is any neck I've found, like on eBay or wherever, is almost the cost of a whole guitar. So you have the body, you have all the other stuff. If you're going to give, 85 or $100 plus shipping for a neck, I mean, you can buy the whole guitar for $120 or so if you catch a right deal. So that's not been an option. So I'm just going to go ahead, glue this back. I'll fix this joint up here where it looks really, kind of try to hide that seam a little bit. And we'll glue this fretboard back on and go from there, trying to, dress the frets and get everything kind of looking good. So anyway, that's about it. So the next video, maybe we can get to where, actually the next video, let me move this camera around so I'm not talking to nothing here. Maybe I can make this work. Man, I'm out here in this shop, still moving in, still trying to get stuff, in the right spot. Got the camera crooked. The building ain't sideways. Hopefully the next video, I'm going to have a little special guitar that I've been lucky enough to get a hold of. Going to have something about it. Sometime in the next few videos, we'll get back into this, get it put back together. Hopefully this scarf joint will hold. I should have put a dowel in there to help, but the glue should take care of that. We're going to be taking a strap body that is black. We're going to paint it a nitro shell pink, and we're going to be putting P90s in it. So Wilkinson P90s in that. So we're going to have a shell pink strap with pink P90s. So that's coming up. I don't know if you can see this Affinity Telecaster. We're going to be taking it apart. We're going to upgrade it, get it looking a lot better. There's just so many of these that are the same color. There's just alike. We're going to be stripping the body down, putting some nitro paint on it, doing something a little bit different with the bridge. So that's going to be coming up. Just a whole lot of stuff. But I'm trying to finish up the shop. Don't like a whole lot getting things done. And anyway, I appreciate everybody for your liking and subscribing and comments and whatnot. Give me a thumbs up if this is interesting. Don't forget to tune in. We're going to finish this. This wasn't much of a video as far as getting a lot done, but we laid out kind of where we want to go with this thing. So the next one, I may actually go ahead and put the fretboard on, have the deck all finished, then we can just finish it up. So I'll make my mind up on that. But anyway, guys, I appreciate it. Until the next time, see you.